And we are live.
Okay. अथ कारक प्रकरणम यह कर्ता कर्म करणम संप्रदानम अशेषतः अपादानाधिकरणे संबंधो भवेदिह. In this prakarana, the relationships with the kriya had by the karta, karma, karana, sampradana, apadana and adhikarana are fully described. यह कर्ता कर्म करणम करणम संप्रदानम अशेषतः अपादान अधिकरणे तत्संबंधः भवेत् इह. अथ विष्णु भक्ति अर्थाः तत्र कारकाणि च निरूप्यन्ते. Now the meanings of the Vishnu bhaktis will be described. So the Vishnu bhaktis are of two kinds. Swadi and Tibadi, basically, and in doing so, the Karakas will also be explained. So Vishnu bhaktis and their usages, like which vibhakti, in which sense, in which meaning, and so on. Actually, a detailed study of this. So in the second prakarana, the Swadi Vishnu bhaktis were described, and in the third prakarana, the Tibadis Vishnu bhaktis were described. At that time, the meanings of the Tibadi Vishnu bhaktis were shown in a general way, in rules like Parapadani Kartari and so on. Therefore, given the readers' desire to know more about them, the meanings of both sets of Vishnu bhaktis, Swadis and Tibadis, will be shown in detail in this fourth prakarana. Even though in this fourth prakarana, Jiva Goswami will describe the meanings of the Vishnu bhaktis in terms of Karakas, Upapada Vishnu bhaktis, the meanings of Achyuta and so on, and the different circumstances where Parapada and Atmapada endings are used. He names the Prakarana the Kāraka Prakaraṇa because the Karakas are most important. So someone could say or object, like, we have heard about avyapti dosh, right? Avyapti, like while defining something, there are like three kinds of doshas which could happen, like avyapti dosh, ati vyapti dosh, and I think asambhavana dosh, something. I was just reading it yesterday. So avyapti dosh is when we are not fully describing an object like completely, just partially we are describing it. So someone could say, this chapter not only deals with the Karakas, like the Swadi Vishnu bhaktis and their meanings, but it also deals with the Tibadis and their respective meanings and usages, the Parapada and Atmapada endings and all. So why just Kāraka? Why is it just named Kāraka Prakaraṇam? So Amrita says that because Kārakas are most important, that's why it's named on Kārakas. Thus indicating that the description of the Kārakas and so on is actually connected to Krishna, because Krishna is well known for assuming the role of the 6 Kārakas headed by the Karta, ityadi. The sentence Atha Vishnu Bhakti Artha means Vishnu Bhakti Nirupananantaram Vishnu Bhakti Nam Artha Kathyanti. Now that the Vishnu Bhaktis have been described, Vishnu Bhakti Nirupana Anantaram. Anantaram is like Paschat, Nirupana Paschat. Now that the Vishnu Bhaktis have been described, the meanings of the Vishnu Bhaktis will be described. Vishnu Bhakti Nam Artha Kathyanti. And tatra karakani cha nirupyante means tadartheshu karakani cha nirupyante, and the karakas will be explained among the meanings of the Vishnu bhaktis. So karakas, the definition will come ahead. Kriya sambandha visheshi karakam. What is a karaka will come ahead. So we'll keep it as a suspense for right now, because Jiva Goswami will himself unfold the definition of karaka. Therefore, by this statement is implied that the Karakas are actually special meanings of the Vishnu Bhaktis. Yes. Okay, the very first sutra. Ek dvi bahutveshu ek dvi bahuvachanani. When singularity, duality, and plurality are being expressed, ekvachana, dvivachana, and bahuvachana, the ekvachana, dvivachana, and bahuvachana Vishnu Bhaktis are applied respectively. This is very common, very general thing. For example, when Krishna is in ekvachana, so with this one, so when singularity is expressed, we will use the ekvachana Vishnu Bhakti. So now we are expressing like one Krishna, so Krishna. And so on. If we are expressing two Krishnas, then Krishna. If we are expressing three, then Krishna ityadi. Krishna bhavati, Krishna bhavatah, and Krishna bhavanti. It's not that if singularity is to be expressed, we will employ dvivachana or bahuvachana. No. Singularity with ekvachana, duality with dvivachana, plurality with bahuvachana. Yushmado gaurave tvekatve dvitve bahuvachanam. This is interesting. But to indicate respect, a bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can be applied after Yushmad, even though singularity or duality is being expressed. Now, the previous sutra was a general rule, but this sutra is an exception to the previous one. So in the previous one, it was said that to express singularity, we use ekvachana. To express duality, we use dvivachana, and so on. But here, if we are to indicate respect to someone in either in singular case or in dual, like singular or dual, then also we can use bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti. For example, it happens in Hindi also. We say hum for myself. We say sometimes like main is I, but sometimes we say we, even in English and even in Hindi, hum, bahuvachana. This is for myself and also for someone else, like third person. So, hey pitar, yuyam vadata. Now, yuyam is tvam yuvam yuyam. So, ideally, yuyam is in bahuvachana, but here yuyam is referring to one father. But yuyam is used to indicate respect. So, hey pitar, yuyam vadata, O father, because pitaha is 8.1. It's not pitaro, pitaraha. It's not pitaraha. It's just pitar, 8.1, indicative. So, O father, you please speak. Similarly, hey pitarau yuyam pashyata. O fathers, like oh father and mother, both of you, yuyam pashyata. So here we are just indicating two, like dual, father and mother, pitarau. But still we are using bahuvachana here to indicate respect. Yuyam pashyata.
So Prabhu, I have a question if it's okay.
Yeah.
So, but the Kriya Pada is still plural, Vadata, right? So even though
Right.
Pita is singular, but the Akhyata is plural.
So the Kriya goes with the noun actually, which is Yuyam in this case and Yuyam in this case again.
Yes, yes.
The Kriya always goes with the Vishnu Bhakti.
Yes. Thank you.
It is not that the Ekvachana and Dvivachana Vishnu Bhaktis ordained by the previous sutra are blocked by the Bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti ordained here in the sense of respect. Because for there to be a niyama, the word eva is required. This is just extra explanation. You can read that. Yeah, even Amrita is saying that sometimes, even when respect is indicated, still ekvachana is used. Like Tvam Adi Devaha Purushaha Puranaha. So tvam, it's not you yam here, it's tvam simply. So that's also possible. Then dvivarja tadadi matracha. Similarly, to indicate respect, a bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can be applied after any tadadi except dvi, even though singularity or duality is being expressed. So tadadis are from Krishna namas, tad, yad, etad, idam, adas, right, ityadi. So sakutra tava gurur iti aha tatra te virajante. So saha kutra tava gurur iti aha. Kutra tava guru sah iti saha aha. Kutra tava guru, where is your guru? Then the disciple says, Tatra te virajante. Now te, saha tau te. Te is bahuvachana. But here te is just being used for guru, which is just one person, like singular, guru. So te virajante, he doesn't intend to say there they are sitting. No, there he is sitting. But out of respect, dvivarja tadadi matra cha. So cha stands for ekatve dvitve bahuvachanam. This cha actually brings, like, indicates the anuvritti of that part. Ekatve dvitve bahuvachanam. Or gaurave tve ekatve dvitve bahuvachanam, to be accurate. So kutra tava guruhu, where is your guru? Tatra te virajante. Even though, yeah, so tatra te virajante.
What could be the reason for excluding dvivachan?
For
except dvivachan, it's mentioned there.
No, it's just the word dvi. Like, you know, we have ekad, the word dvi.
Okay, it's only referring to number 2.
Yeah, just like the number 2. In Krishna namas, yeah, the sankhya dvi.
Sankhya dvi. Okay.
Right. So in Krishna nama section, we have this ekadvi. Dvi is there.
Yeah.
So that one. Pujya vachibhyas tvadaradhikye. To indicate even more respect, a bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can be applied after words which refer to respectable persons, even though singularity or duality is being expressed. So all these are basically exceptions to Sutra 918, the first one. Ekadvi bahutveshu, ekadvi bahuvachanane. So to indicate even more respect, pujya vachibhyas tu adar adhikya. Adhikya, extra, and adara is like respect. So in that case also, bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can be applied, even though singularity or duality is expressed. For example, Guravaha samadhishanti. The Guru orders. So there is utmost respect for one's Gurudev. So Guravaha, not just Guruhu, Guravaha. So yeah, Guravaha samadhishanti.
This adhikya is in 7.1, Prabhu?
Yes, this is actually Vishaya Saptami. That's Vishaya, right? It's Vishaya Saptami.
In the sense of
Adaradhikya. Yeah. I really like this one, 922. That after doing it for everyone else, then comes Uttam Purusha. So Asmadastu a Gaurava api. For everyone else, it has to be a Gaurava to use Bahuvachana. But for oneself, a Bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can also be applied after Asmad, when respect isn't particularly intended, even though singularity or duality is being expressed. Yeah. So, for example, Vayam Brumaha can be used instead of Aham Bravimi. I speak. So we can say Vayam Brumaha. Or yeah. Or even for Avam Bruvaha, we too speak, we can use Vayam again. This happens in English and Hindi as well.
Yeah, Prabhu, I think in Uttar Pradesh, they must be the students of Sanskrit at large scale because they are normally saying हम वहाँ जाएंगे, हम जा रहे हैं.
In Bihar also, Guji.
Bihar also, yeah. That's right. Actually,
So-
Sanskrit had a very deep impressions in Bihar and in eastern UP side, Banaras and all that.
So Prabhu,
So-
how does this apply? So you're saying basically when we use the word, for example, if I'm going outside and if I say, oh, we will go outside, it indicates that is it out of humility or is it out of I mean, when you say agaurave here, what does it that exactly mean? Why would I disrespect myself? Is it out of humility or sarcasm or what is it?
Okay, I mean, as per the Sanskrit language, the Sanskrit grammar, we can just use Bahuvachana for ourselves. Just in general, it doesn't mean that we are humble or something. Just in general, we can use that. Like, I'm going out, we are going out. Aham gachami, vayam gachamaha. So even Yamaraj in 6th canto, when he's naming the 12 Mahajanas, so then he comes and he says Vayam.
Yes.
What is the shloka?
Yes.
Vayam?
Yuyam Bhaktya. No.
Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Balir
That's right.
Vaya Sakir Vayam. Yeah. It is
Yeah,
Balir Vaya Sakir
Vaya
Vayam.
Sakir Vayam.
Dvadashaite Vijanimo. Yeah.
Right. So for himself, he's using Vayam, which is plural, but just he's referring to himself. So, yeah, I mean, such usages are actually very, very like in Chalti Bhasha, in regular usage, it's not so much used nowadays. Still, it is used, like Prabhuji was saying, in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and all. But in written, it's very much used still. Such usages. Asmadastu agaurave api.
In writing.
I'm sorry?
Also in English, it's used quite a lot in writing.
Right. I mean, even though the author is expressing full humility from his side, that he's very humble, this and that, but still he'll prefer writing or using Bahuvachana for himself at times. So it doesn't mean that he's boasting of himself or something like that. It's just natural way of expressing oneself, especially in a written way.
Sometimes
Literally.
they say, because I have heard this, I don't know what's the pramana, but because there is super soul inside, they say we. So I don't know how authentic is that. Is there any authenticity to that claim?
I mean, could be there.
Yeah, I think.
No, but the
I think
point
that
is
would-
that the super soul is there in others also, Prabhu.
Yeah, you use for them also.
But Puji, I think that would contradict the philosophy, because if somebody is doing something wrong, then this plural can also be used for agorave also. So in the sense of disrespecting also, or not so respecting also, person can use plural for one's own self, and then we cannot say that he is disrespecting super soul also. I think that would contradict.
So, I mean, then you can decide the Purva Paksha and have a debate. Okay, so Asmadastu Agaurave Api. When I first read this sutra, like myself, 5 or 6 years back, I was laughing very hard inside myself. Even Agaurave Api, Asmadastu Bahuvachanam. So it says the word api here is used in the sense of samuchaya, which means like gaurave api means gaurave agaurave cha. Gaurave agaurave cha. That whether we are expressing gaurava or no gaurava for oneself, for ourselves, in either cases we can use bahuvachana for asmad, for oneself, uttam purush. Jatyakhyayam ekvachane bahuvachanam va. This is very common. When referring to a jati, jati is a group, species, or like a common quality or something. A bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can optionally be applied instead of an ekvachana Vishnu Bhakti. For example, some pujya tulasi. Tulsi is worshipable. So this is also right. Some pujya tulsi, feminine, like Radha Shabda. This is Radha Shabda, this is Gopi Shabda. 1-1. Or we could either say some pugyah tulasyah. Tulasi is worshipable. We can use bahuvachana here again. That tulasi is worshipable. So referring to a jati, we can use either of the one, either bahuvachana or ekvachana. Especially ekvachana is used to express a jati. Like if I say gauhu, which is 1-1 of the word go. So that gauhu can express the whole jati of go vansha, including cows, bulls, and so on. So that's jatyakhyayam ekvachane bahuvachanam va. So like that. Yeah, it's said here, gaur ayam. This is a bull. Ayam gauhu asti. Or it could be gavah ime. This is a bull. Gau gavo gavah. Ayam imau ime. So gavah ime. This is a bull. So yes. Yeah. So jatyakhyayam ekvachane bahuvachanam va.
So what is the intent in that expression? Are you pointing to a single bull and saying, are you seeing a group of, when you say, I'm thinking of the usage. So if I have just one cow at my home, and when I am saying gava ime, am I using it as Gauravachaka, or am I just pointing that, okay, the jati of this being is...
So here we don't have anything to do with Gaurava. This is just to indicate a jati, a group or a class of an object or a species or a person, a category. So nothing to do with Gaurava in this particular rule.
So maybe I'm teaching a child.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Yes, it means we're referring to the bullness. Like this is a bull. This is what bulls are, basically. Like you're saying, like we're teaching a child.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be using this to say, for example, gamanaya. I wouldn't be using a plural case to say, bring a cow.
Yeah, because
it would have no meaning.
That's
exactly.
referring to the entity itself.
Yes.
So Amrita says a jati is always singular since it denotes a single common quality that inheres in many. But this rule says that a bahuvachana Vishnu Bhakti can optionally be applied nonetheless. With the example Gaurayam, Jiva Goswami shows how jati inheres in individuals. But something cannot be called a jati if it only inheres in a single individual. Thus we get Vishnu Mitraha Esha. This is Vishnu Mitra. Yeah, Vishnu Mitra is just a single person. A person called Vishnu Mitra. The name.
Even if we name the bull Vishnu Mitra, this is what we should be doing.
Then that would be different.
Exactly. It's not
that
jati.
Yeah, that's not jati.
Yes.
If you go
to isn't in anyone else.
So if you go to Ter Kadamba and then Krishna would call the cows by different names, then that's not jati. He's just expressing different names, calling out.
Yes.
So Samkshodhani says the main lesson to be learned from this sutra is that ekvachanam is used when referring to a jati. The option for bahuvachanam is just a side point. Often in Sanskrit, we see ekvachanam where we would expect bahuvachanam. At such at such times, it is to be understood that the ekvachanam is being used to express a jati. Often the acharyas will point this out with phrases like jata ekatvam, like jatau ekatvam. In ekatvam, oneness in the sense of jati. Seventh case, jatau. And jata ekavachanam or jatyaikatvam. Examples from Vishwanath Chakravarti's Sarartha Darshini commentary are Atmani, Atmanah, Viprabharyayah. I think this Viprabharyaya refers to the wives of the Brahmanas.
Yes, that's the
so Bharyayah is like 6-1, but it's referring to all the wives of the Brahmanas.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sudata Yukta Subhruva Yukta Chakshusha. Okay, it's not Sudata, it's Sudata. Subhruva Chakshusha. Looks like it's only referring to one chakshu, one eye, but referring to the eyes.
This
Then
Data is referring to teeth. Teeth.
Yeah, yes. And okay, what's the sutra? Asit Prabhuji? First of all, what is the root word? I mean, that is coming from which word?
Dant only is there.
Right, Danta. Right, Danta. So, what is the sutra from Danta to Dat? Atrapad Danta. Right. So Danta becomes Dat when Yadus are following. Saugandhikam Tannam Pankajam. And examples from Jiva Goswami's Krama Sandarbha commentary are Esha Me Mati and Disham. So all these are in Ekvachana, but expressing a particular group or a class, so a jati. Moreover, this principle of using Ekvachanam for a jati is also...
I have a question, like Esha Me Matihi, that is talking about his mind. How is it a group?
It's thoughts, isn't it? These are my thoughts.
Mati is thought there?
Yeah,
not
Mati
mind
means like...
Evam gurubhya etebhya esha me shikshita matihi. So esha me evam gurubhya etebhya esha me shikshita matihi swatmopashikshita buddhim shrinu me vadatah prabho. Esha me shikshita matihi. So matihi refers to knowledge here. I mean, basically, from these gurus, spiritual masters, etebhya gurubhya, I have learned these knowledges, like literally. Esha me shikshita matihi.
Yeah, so it's like conceptions, Mati, because it's like Shakti, right? So it's like an active thing. And I think the dhatu here might be man.
Yes, it is.
But,
it is.
Yeah, so man, and then it's like conceptions. So these conceptions were learned from my gurus, but it's singular. It's a jati of all the conceptions.
So mati is not like buddhi here. It's not. It's like knowledge, thoughts.
Okay.
And moreover, this principle of using ekvachanam for a jati is also seen in reference to parts of the body. For example, in phrases like natosmyaham tat charanam, I bow down to his feet. So charanam literally is ekvachana, but we are bowing down to like two of them. I mean, a pair of it. So feet. The idea is not that he's bowing down to only one foot and not to the other foot, but rather that he's referring to the feet as a group, one group of 2 feet. Tat charanam. This is why ekvachanam is used, because the count of the group is 1. This broad use of the jati principle in relation to parts of the body is also acknowledged by the previous acharyas. For example, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the words Sudata, Subhruva, and Chakshusha in Bhagavatam are all singular in reference to a jati. Yes, other examples are Drishyam, Charanam, Manaha, ityadi in the following verses. So likewise, Jatyakhyayam ekvachane bahuvachanam va. One last one. Prathama Nama Matrarthe. Now talking of the Prathama Vishnu Bhakti, Suaujas. When only the meaning of the Nama is being expressed. So actually in this Kāraka Prakaraṇa, the vrittis and all, they are very important. They really talk in detail about what the sutra means to say and so on. So when only the meaning of the Nama is being expressed, a Prathama Vishnu Bhakti is used. Prathama Nama Matrarthe. So when only that which the Nama itself expresses is being expressed, a Prathama Vishnu Bhakti is used. Being only that which the Nama itself expresses means being without regard for the relationships which are going to be described in the upcoming sutras. In other words, a Prathama Vishnu Bhakti is used when the additional meaning in the form of the relationship such as a karta and so on is already expressed by the pratyaya, and thus all that remains to be expressed in the meaning of the Nama. Okay, we'll do this. We'll resume from this tomorrow. Prathama Namatra. So today we dealt with the Gauravarthas, Ekvachane, Bahuvachanam Va concepts. Interesting thing is also in Kāraka, no declensions.
Yeah.
Just come, relax, and sit and hear.
Yeah, just theory. No more tables.
No Anki here.
Very easy Anki, if any Anki.
Samas is also like the same, Prabhu.
Yeah, can say so. Samasa also. Kridanta will be
Even
will be
Vedanta would be easy. Just one word, one pratyaya.
Right,
no
right. Not as complicated as Akhyata. And Tadhita is also fully theory. with a lot of
theory. Tadit also theory.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
With a lot of pratyas, of course. Many pratyas there. So we'll be doing thrice a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same timings. So yeah. So we'll resume tomorrow, same timings.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So I've shared the files.
Thank you.
File. You can avail of it. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dharam Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu's
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.